Get off my mat. I don't train animals.
Call me that one more time.
You deaf too? Your kind never belonged here.
I'm here. You about the kids you're hurting.
Kids? You don't tell me how to run my gym.
Travis Holloway, jiu-jitsu instructor, black belt, gym owner, shoved her to the floor, grabbed a white belt, whipped it across her face. The snap echoed.
$1,000 says you don't last 60 seconds with me.
Her hands were shaking. Her cheek was burning.
60? That's way too generous.
14
Barrel
seconds.
technical on.
That's all Bianca Whitfield
3:14.
needed. Nobody was laughing 14 seconds later. But this story isn't about those 14 seconds. It's about what a man with power, money, and lawyers did when the whole world watched him lose to the woman he called an animal. Before that night, nobody knew Bianca Whitfield could fight. Nobody was supposed to. She lived in Durham, North Carolina, small apartment. No social media, no flashy life. She woke up at 6 every morning, made coffee in a chipped mug her father gave her, and drove to the Durham County Youth Services office. She was a social worker, 32 years old, specialized in at-risk teens, the ones the system had already given up on, the ones who reminded her of herself. Her caseload was brutal. 15 kids, some in foster care, some one bad night away from juvenile detention. Bianca was the only person who showed up for them consistently, not because she had to, because she knew what it felt like when nobody showed up. That was the Bianca the world saw. Quiet, patient, professional. The Bianca the world didn't see trained in a garage gym on the east side of Durham every Tuesday and Thursday night. Coach Raymond Ellis ran that gym, 71 years old, coral belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, 46 years on the mat. He trained military, law enforcement, UFC fighters. His gym had no sign on the door, no website, no mirrors, just mats, a timer, and the smell of old sweat. Bianca had trained under Ellis since she was 6 years old. Before Ellis, her father taught her. Darnell Whitfield, Army combatives instructor, 22 years of service. He started drilling her before she could ride a bike. By 20, Bianca was competing at brown belt level, fast, technical, ruthless on the ground. Coaches around the state called her the Whisper because opponents never heard her coming. Then her father died. Heart attack, right there in the arena. Second round of her semifinal match at the Carolina Open. She was on the mat when it happened, heard the commotion, saw the paramedics. By the time she reached him, his eyes were closed. She never competed again. 5 years. No tournaments, no public training. She told herself she was done. But every Tuesday and Thursday, she still showed up at Ellis's garage. Still drilled, still rolled. Muscle memory doesn't forget. Neither does grief. Ellis never pushed her. He just kept the mat clean and the door open. He understood that some wounds close on their own schedule. Now, Travis Holloway. If Bianca was a whisper, Travis was a loudspeaker. He owned Holloway Combat Academy, the biggest martial arts gym in Durham. Flashy storefront, 80,000 followers on Instagram, sponsorship deals, weekend seminars at $200 a seat. His black belt hung framed behind the front desk like a diploma. But in the jiu-jitsu community, people talked. His lineage was murky. His promotion was fast. Too fast. He'd skipped the years that real black belts grind through. None of that mattered to his followers. Travis sold confidence. He sold dominance. His slogan, "Weakness leaves or gets left," was printed on every shirt in his merch line. His gym culture matched the slogan. Beginners got hazed. Smaller students got smashed by upper belts in sparring. If you complained, Travis called you soft. If you quit, he posted about it. Parents loved his marketing. Kids feared his methods. Two of those kids, Jamal Turner, 15, and Devin Price, 14, were on Bianca's caseload. Both enrolled at Holloway's gym through a county-sponsored youth fitness program. Both had been doing well in school. Both had started showing up to sessions quieter than usual. Bianca noticed. That's what she did. She noticed things other people walked past. She pulled up Jamal's file. Attendance dropping, grades slipping, a note from his foster mother. He doesn't want to go to practice anymore but won't say why. Bianca decided to visit the gym, just to observe, just to make sure the kids were okay. She walked into Holloway Combat Academy on a Friday night, open mat night, the biggest event of the month. Families in the bleachers, local businesses sponsoring. Travis Holloway at the center of it all. That's when she saw the bruises on Jamal's ribs. Deep purple. Too many, too fresh. And they didn't look like training bruises at all. Bianca didn't make a scene. She waited until the sparring round ended, walked to the edge of the mat, and caught Jamal's arm as he stepped off. "Lift your shirt." Jamal froze. "Miss Whitfield, I'm fine." "Jamal, lift your shirt." He did. 3 bruises along his left rib cage, 1 near his kidney. Bianca had seen enough injuries in her years of service to know the difference between a hard roll and something deliberate. "Who did this?" Jamal's eyes darted toward the center of the mat, toward Travis. "It's just training, Miss Whitfield. He says it toughens us up." Bianca squeezed his shoulder. "Go sit down." She walked straight to Travis. He was mid-conversation with a sponsor, laughing, shaking hands. She waited until he turned. "We need to talk about how you're training the minors in this program." Travis looked at her like she was a stain on his mat. "Who are you?" "Bianca Whitfield, Durham County Youth Services. I oversee 2 of your students." "And?" "And one of them has bruises that don't come from normal sparring." Travis crossed his arms, smiled. "Lady, this is a combat gym, not a daycare. Kids get hit. That's how they learn." "There's a difference between learning and getting hurt." "Yeah? And who are you to tell me the difference? You ever been on a mat in your life?" "That's not what this is about." "Nah, that's exactly what this is about." Travis stepped closer. His voice got louder. Heads turned. "Some desk jockey from the county walks into my gym and tries to tell me how to train fighters? You don't know the first thing about this world." "I know what a bruised rib looks like on a 14-year-old. The room went quiet. Travis felt the eyes on him. He didn't like that. He never liked being challenged, especially not here, especially not by her. "You need to leave, now." "I'll leave when I'm sure those kids are safe." "They're safer here than wherever the county dumps them." Bianca held his stare for 3 full seconds. Then she turned and walked out. In the parking lot, she sat in her car, engine off, hands gripping the wheel, not shaking from fear, shaking from everything she didn't say. That night, Jamal called her, crying. Travis had kicked him out of the gym in front of everyone, called him a snitch, told him real fighters don't run to social workers. Jamal was 15, and he was sobbing. Travis didn't let it go. Men like him never do. The next morning, a video appeared on his Instagram. 60,000 views in 4 hours. The caption read, "Karen from the county tried to shut down my gym last night. Couldn't handle watching real training. This is what's wrong with America." The clip was edited. Cut to make it look like Bianca had barged in screaming. Cut to make Travis look calm, reasonable, patient. Cut to remove every word he'd actually said. His followers did the rest. "Who is this woman? Someone find her name. She probably can't even do a push-up." Within 24 hours, they found her. Bianca Whitfield, Durham County Youth Services. They posted her work address, her office phone number, her photo from the county website. The messages started. "Mind your own business. Stay in your lane. Go back to pushing papers. Nobody asked you." Some were worse, much worse. The kind of messages that make you check your locks at night. Bianca didn't respond to any of them. She screenshot everything and filed it, but the damage was already spreading. Monday morning, her supervisor, Linda Dawson, called her in. "Bianca, I've gotten 14 calls this weekend. Parents, board members, a county commissioner." "About what?" "About you harassing a local business owner." "Harassing? I asked about bruises on a minor." Linda sighed. "I believe you, but the optics are bad. His video has 100,000 views. The county doesn't want this kind of attention." "So what are you saying?" "I'm saying stay away from that gym, for now." "And the kids?" "We'll reassign the case." Bianca left the office with her jaw tight and her fists in her pockets. Reassign the case. That meant nobody. That meant Jamal and Devin were on their own. That same week, things got worse at Holloway's gym. Devin's foster mother called Bianca directly. Devin came home limping, said Coach Holloway made him spar with an adult, a grown man. Devin weighs 110 pounds. Did he say anything else? He said Coach told him this is what happens when people snitch. Bianca closed her eyes. This wasn't training. This was punishment. Travis knew exactly what he was doing. He was sending a message. To Jamal, to Devin, to anyone who thought about speaking up. And here's where you need to understand Travis Holloway. Not the Instagram version, the real one. Behind the motivational posts and the highlight reels, Holloway Combat Academy was bleeding. Membership had dropped 18% in the last year. 3 instructors had quit. 2 parents had pulled their kids. Travis owed 4 months of back rent on the building. He sat in his office that Tuesday night, staring at the numbers on his laptop. Red. Everything red. The video of Bianca was the most engagement he'd gotten in 6 months. Comments, shares, new followers. His phone was buzzing non-stop. Travis leaned back in his chair and smiled. He didn't hate Bianca Whitfield. He didn't even think about her. She was content. She was a storyline. She was the thing that might save his gym from going under. So he made another video. The same woman who tried to cancel my gym? Guess what she does for a living? She works for the county. Your tax dollars. Paying her to walk into private businesses and tell hard-working Americans how to do their jobs. 200,000 views. Fox local affiliate picked it up. Government overreach? Social worker targets local gym owner. Bianca watched the segment from her couch. Her photo on the screen, her name in the headline, her phone vibrating with messages from numbers she didn't recognize. She turned the TV off, sat in silence for a long time. Then she picked up her car keys and drove across town to a garage gym with no sign on the door. Coach Ellis was closing up, wiping down the mats. He looked up when she walked in. Didn't say a word, didn't need to. He just pulled a folded gi off the shelf and set it on the bench. Bianca stared at it. The last time she'd worn a gi in public was the day her father died. 5 years of avoiding this. 5 years of telling herself she was done. She picked it up, unfolded it, put it on. The mat was cold under her bare feet. Ellis stood across from her. No instructions, no warm-up speech. He just extended his hand for a slap bump. They rolled for 45 minutes. No talking, just movement. Muscle memory flooded back like water breaking through a dam. Transitions she hadn't drilled in years came back clean. Sweeps, submissions, guard recovery. All of it still there. All of it waiting. When they finished, Bianca sat on the edge of the mat, breathing hard, sweat dripping off her chin. Ellis sat beside her. How's it feel? Like I never left. You didn't. You just stopped showing up to the right places. Bianca was quiet for a moment. He's hurting those kids, Coach. I know. And nobody's doing anything. Somebody will. Ellis looked at her. Somebody always does. That Friday, Travis posted one more video. This time, he announced Open Challenge Night, a monthly event at Holloway Combat Academy. $1,000 to anyone who could last 60 seconds with him on the mat. Full contact, signed waiver. At the end of the video, he looked straight into the camera and grinned. And hey, Miss Whitfield, if you're watching, you're welcome to come try. Bring your clipboard. The video got 400,000 views. Bianca watched it once. Then she picked up her phone and called Gina Prescott. I need your help. With what? I'm going to that challenge night. Bianca, are you serious? Dead serious. Gina Prescott was a paralegal at one of Durham's busiest law firms. Sharp, careful, the kind of friend who always read the fine print before signing anything. If you're doing this, we do it right, Gina said. No surprises, no gaps. They met at Ellis's garage gym that Sunday, the 3 of them around a folding table. Gina had a notepad. Ellis had a laptop open to Travis's old competition footage. Watch his right side, Ellis said. He tapped the screen. Every time someone shoots on him, he drops his elbow, leaves his neck wide open. He's strong, but he's sloppy. He fights like a man who's never lost. What about the waiver? Bianca asked. Gina slid a printed copy across the table. I pulled it from his website. He wrote it himself. Full contact grappling, no liability, no restrictions on skill level. He's so confident he didn't even add a clause to protect himself. So if I submit him, he can't sue. He signed his own trap. Ellis looked at Bianca. You sure about this? He whipped a belt across my face. He's hurting kids, and nobody's stopping him. That's not what I asked. I asked if you're sure. Bianca folded the waiver and put it in her pocket. Sign me up under my initials, BW. He won't know it's me until I'm on the mat. Open challenge night, first Friday of the month. Holloway Combat Academy was packed. 200 people, standing room only. Folding chairs lined up 3 rows deep around the mat. Local businesses had banners on the walls. A DJ played hip-hop between rounds. Travis had turned the whole thing into a show. He stood in the center of the mat wearing a black gi with his logo stitched across the back. Microphone in hand, grinning. Welcome to Open Challenge Night. Same rules as always. You survive 60 seconds with me, you walk out with $1,000. You don't, well, you learn something about yourself. The crowd cheered, phones everywhere, every angle covered. First challenger. A 22-year-old college wrestler. Big kid, strong. Travis let him shoot, sprawled hard, took his back, sunk a rear naked choke in 31 seconds. The kid tapped. Travis stood up and spread his arms like he'd just won a title fight. Second challenger. A blue belt from a neighboring gym. Came out aggressive. Travis pulled guard, swept him, mounted, and finished with an Americana. 44 seconds. The crowd roared. Travis grabbed the mic again. Anybody else? Come on. Easiest $1,000 you'll ever make. He looked around the room. No? Nobody? All that talk online and... B.W. Nolan Carver, the local journalist running the sign-up sheet, read the name from the clipboard. Next up, B.W. Travis frowned. Who the hell is B.W.? The crowd shifted. A figure stood up from the back row. Bianca Whitfield, white gi, hair tied back, no expression. The room buzzed. People recognized her from Travis's videos. Whispers rippled through the bleachers. Oh, you gotta be kidding me! Travis laughed into the mic. Miss Clipboard herself. Ladies and gentlemen, the county sent us a fighter. More laughter. A few people clapped. Bianca walked to the edge of the mat, took off her shoes, placed them neatly side by side. You sure about this, sweetheart? Travis said. I'd hate to mess up that pretty county job of yours. Bianca stepped onto the mat, said nothing. All right, her funeral. Travis tossed the mic to the DJ. Start the clock. Gina sat in the second row, phone out, recording, angle locked. Nolan Carver had a second camera on a tripod near the judges' table. Coach Ellis stood in the doorway, arms crossed. He didn't sit down. He didn't need to. He knew what was about to happen. The timer beeped. Travis bounced forward, relaxed, hands low, smiling. He was playing to the crowd. He reached out with his right hand to grab Bianca's collar, the same lazy grip he used on every beginner. Bianca didn't back up. She gripped his right sleeve with her left hand, pulled it across his body. Her right hand shot to the back of his collar. Before Travis could react, her hips dropped and she pulled guard. Not a sloppy fall, a calculated snap that broke his posture completely. Travis stumbled forward into her closed guard. His smile disappeared. 3 seconds in, Bianca opened her guard. Her left foot pressed against his right hip. Her right leg swung over his left shoulder. She locked it behind his neck. His right arm was still trapped. She clamped her knees together and squeezed. Triangle choke. Textbook. The kind they teach at black belt seminars as an example of perfect execution. 7 seconds in, Travis's face turned red. He tried to stack her, lift her hips off the ground to relieve the pressure, but Bianca had already angled off. She pulled his trapped arm across her body and locked her ankles tighter. His left hand slapped the mat. Once, twice. The referee didn't see the tap. Or maybe he did. Either way, he didn't stop it. 10 seconds in, Travis tried to posture up one last time. Bianca grabbed the back of his head and pulled it down. Hard. The choke sank deeper. His hand went limp. 12 seconds in. His body went slack. Eyes rolled. He was out. 14 seconds. Bianca released the choke, pushed his unconscious body off her, stood up. The room was dead silent. 200 people, not a single sound. No music, no cheering. Just the hum of the fluorescent lights above the mat. Then one person clapped. Then two. Then the whole room exploded. Coach Ellis hadn't moved from the doorway, but his eyes were wet. Nolan Carver lowered his camera and whispered, "Holy." Gina stopped her recording. Her hands were trembling. Travis's students rushed to the mat, poured water on his face, slapped his cheeks. He came to after about 20 seconds, blinking, confused. He looked up at the ceiling, then at Bianca, then at the 200 phones pointed at his face. What happened?" Nobody answered him. Bianca stepped off the mat, put her shoes on, walked to the sign-up table, picked up the pen, and wrote her full name next to B.W. Bianca Whitfield. She didn't take the $1,000. She didn't say a word to Travis. She walked out into the parking lot, got in her car, and sat there for 10 minutes, hands on the wheel, eyes closed. For the first time in 5 years, she could hear her father's voice. Technique beats power. Timing beats speed. And the mat never lies. By midnight, Nolan Carver had uploaded the full clip to his YouTube channel with the title, "Jiu-Jitsu instructor bet $1,000 a black woman wouldn't last a minute. She submitted him in 14 seconds. By 6 a.m., it had 200,000 views. By noon, 2 million. By the end of the week, 10 million. The comment section was on fire. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That triangle was clean. Somebody get this woman a sponsorship. Hashtag 14 seconds. The hashtag spread like gasoline on a lit match. Hashtag 14 seconds. On Twitter, on TikTok, on Reddit. Every martial arts forum in the country was breaking down the footage frame by frame. Bianca didn't watch any of it. She turned her phone off that Saturday morning and didn't turn it back on until Monday. But Monday brought something she wasn't expecting. A letter, hand-delivered to her office. From the law firm of Kessler, Brandt, and Associates. Travis Holloway was suing her for assault. The letter was 2 pages. Clean, professional, cold. Travis J. Holloway, plaintiff, versus Bianca D. Whitfield, defendant. Claim, aggravated assault causing bodily harm during an unsanctioned and unauthorized martial arts event. Damages sought, $250,000. Bianca read it twice, then a third time. Then she called Gina. "He's suing me." "For what?" "Assault. $250,000. Gina was quiet for 3 seconds. "I'll be at your place in 20 minutes. They sat at Bianca's kitchen table. Gina spread the legal filing across the surface and read every word out loud. "He's claiming the event was informal, unsanctioned, that you entered under false initials to conceal your identity and your skill level, and that your level of training constituted, and I'm quoting here, a concealed, dangerous capability equivalent to a weapon." A weapon? That's what it says. "I choked a man who challenged me in his own gym, on his own mat, with his own rules. And I'm the weapon? Welcome to America." Travis didn't stop at the lawsuit. He couldn't. The video had made him a national joke. 10 million people had watched him go unconscious in 14 seconds. His inbox was full of memes. His gym had lost 30 members in a week. 3 sponsors had pulled out. He needed to flip the story. Fast. That Tuesday, Travis sat across from a media strategist named Craig Teller. Private office. Closed door. Craig had handled reputation crises for athletes, politicians, and one Fortune 500 CEO who'd been caught on a hot mic. "Here's the play," Craig said. "You're not the guy who got choked out. You're the guy who got ambushed. A government employee used her position to target your business, then showed up to a casual community event with concealed professional-level fighting skills. She didn't come to compete. She came to destroy you. Can we sell that? We already are." By Wednesday, the narrative had shifted. A local news segment ran the headline, Social worker accused of targeting small business owner in violent gym confrontation. The anchor opened with, a Durham County social worker is facing a civil lawsuit after allegedly using professional-level martial arts skills to assault a local gym owner during what was described as a friendly open mat event. Friendly, open mat. Assault. Every word was chosen carefully. Every word was a lie. But lies travel fast when they have a budget behind them. The segment went regional, then national. A cable news panel spent 6 minutes debating whether Bianca's actions constituted excessive force in a civilian context. One commentator called her a trained fighter who deliberately targeted a smaller business owner. Travis was 6'2", 220 pounds. Bianca was 5'6", 140. But on television, facts don't matter. Framing does. By Friday, Bianca was placed on administrative leave from Durham County Youth Services. Her supervisor, Linda, called her in. Same office, same chair, different tone. Bianca, I have no choice. The county can't have an employee in an active lawsuit tied to a viral assault video. It wasn't assault. He challenged me. He signed a waiver. I know, but until this is resolved, you're on leave, paid, but off the floor. What about my kids? Reassigned. That word again. Reassigned. The word that meant forgotten. Bianca drove home in silence, sat in her apartment. The walls felt smaller than they'd ever been. Her phone buzzed. A text from Gina. Check your email. I found something. Bianca opened her laptop. Gina had sent a scan of the original waiver from Open Challenge Night, the one Travis had drafted himself. The one every challenger signed before stepping on the mat. Paragraph 3, line 4. All participants acknowledge full contact grappling with no restrictions on skill level, experience, or rank. Holloway Combat Academy and its owner assume no liability for any outcome resulting from voluntary participation. No restrictions on skill level. No liability for any outcome. Travis had written his own death sentence and signed it. He can't win this lawsuit, Gina said when Bianca called her. His own waiver destroys every argument in his filing, but that's not why he filed it. Then why? To bury you, to flip the story, to make you spend money you don't have fighting a case that shouldn't exist. This isn't law, this is strategy. Bianca stared at the waiver on her screen. So what do? We don't just defend, we expose. That weekend, Coach Ellis made a phone call, then another, then 12 more. Within days, a network formed. Black martial artists from across North Carolina, competitors, instructors, gym owners, men and women who had their own stories about being dismissed, disrespected, and pushed out of combat sports spaces that were supposed to be open to everyone. They called it the Open Mat Coalition. No headquarters, no budget, just a shared Google Drive and a group chat that never stopped buzzing. One of them, a purple belt named Terrence Adams from Raleigh, had trained at Holloway's gym 2 years earlier. He'd left after Travis forced a 16-year-old to spar with a 200-pound adult as punishment for losing a tournament. I have the footage, Terrence said. I recorded it on my phone the day it happened. Never posted it. Never knew what to do with it. Send it to Gina, Ellis said. The footage was 43 seconds long. A teenage boy, skinny, terrified, being thrown and mounted by a grown man twice his size. In the background, Travis Holloway watching with his arms crossed, smiling. Gina added it to the file. But Bianca wasn't thinking about the lawsuit that night. She was standing in Oakwood Cemetery in front of a headstone that read, Darnell Raymond Whitfield, beloved father, 1958 to 2021. She stood there for a long time, hands in her jacket pockets, wind pulling at her collar. I got back on the mat, Dad. Silence. I don't know if you'd be proud or mad. Probably both. A leaf blew across the stone. He hurt those kids. He hurt me. And then he told the whole world I was the villain. Her voice cracked. I don't know how to fight this one. This one isn't on the mat. She wiped her eyes, breathed in. But I'm not quitting. You didn't raise me to quit. She drove home, turned her phone back on. 14 missed calls. 1 voicemail from Gina. Bianca, call me back. We just got the hearing date. It's in 3 weeks, and I think we have enough to end this. The hearing was held at the Durham County Courthouse. Courtroom 4B, 2nd floor. Old building, high ceilings. The kind of room where every whisper bounces off the walls. Judge Evelyn Moore presided, 63 years old, 28 years on the bench, known for 2 things. She never interrupted, and she never forgot a lie. Travis arrived first. Navy suit, new haircut. His lawyer, Martin Kessler, walked beside him, carrying a leather briefcase and the kind of confidence that comes from billing $400 an hour. Bianca arrived with Gina. No lawyer. She couldn't afford one. Gina had filed the response brief pro bono, pulling favors from the partners at her firm to review it. The gallery was full. Nolan Carver sat in the front row with a press badge. 3 other journalists behind him. Members of the Open Mat Coalition filled the back 2 rows. Coach Ellis sat in the corner nearest the door. Same spot he always chose. Close enough to see everything. Far enough to leave if he needed to. Kessler opened strong. Your Honor, my client organized a casual, community-centered fitness event. Miss Whitfield entered that event under false initials, deliberately concealing a professional-level martial arts background. She didn't come to participate. She came to humiliate. Her actions resulted in my client losing consciousness, suffering cervical strain, and enduring significant reputational and financial harm. He paused, looked at the gallery. This wasn't sport. This was a premeditated attack disguised as competition. Judge Moore turned to Bianca. Miss Whitfield, your response. Bianca stood. Her hands were steady. Her voice was clear. Your Honor, I signed up using my initials. That's not illegal. I entered an open challenge that Mr. Holloway advertised publicly, on social media, to anyone willing to participate. He set the rules. He wrote the waiver. And he personally called me out by name in a video seen by 400,000 people. She picked up a printed sheet from the table. This is the waiver every challenger signed that night. Paragraph 3, line 4. All participants acknowledge full contact grappling with no restrictions on skill level, experience, or rank. Holloway Combat Academy and its owner assume no liability for any outcome resulting from voluntary participation. She set it down. No restrictions on skill level. His words, his document, his signature at the bottom. Kessler jumped in. Your Honor, the waiver was intended for casual participants, not... The waiver doesn't say casual, Bianca said. It says no restrictions. Mr. Holloway is a self-described black belt. He didn't limit who could accept his challenge. He wanted content. He got it. Judge Moore made a note. Continue. Gina stood and opened a laptop. Your Honor, we'd like to submit 3 additional pieces of evidence. Proceed. First, the original video Mr. Holloway posted after Miss Whitfield's initial visit to his gym. He edited that video before uploading it. We obtained the unedited footage from a gym member who recorded the same interaction on a separate device. Gina pressed play. The unedited clip showed Travis calling Bianca an animal, showed him shoving her, showed him whipping the belt across her face. None of that appeared in the version he posted online. The courtroom murmured. Travis shifted in his seat. Second, footage recorded by a former student at Holloway Combat Academy showing Mr. Holloway forcing a 16-year-old minor to spar with a 200-pound adult as a form of punishment. Gina played the 43-second clip. The room went dead quiet. A woman in the gallery covered her mouth. Nolan Carver was writing so fast his pen nearly snapped. Third, Gina paused. We'd like to call a witness. Coach Raymond Ellis. Ellis stood up from his seat in the corner, walked to the front of the room, took the stand. Kessler frowned. He didn't know Ellis was coming. Travis's face went white. Coach Ellis, Gina said, how long have you been involved in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? 46 years. And what is your rank? Coral belt, 6th degree. Do you know the plaintiff, Travis Holloway? Ellis looked at Travis, straight at him. Travis looked away. I do. I was his instructor. 6 years ago. He trained under me for 11 months. Why did he leave your gym? He didn't leave. I expelled him. The room shifted. Whispers crackled through the gallery. On what grounds? Unsafe conduct, reckless behavior with training partners, and falsifying his training records. Can you elaborate on that last point?
Ellis nodded.
Travis Holloway received a blue belt under my instruction. That was his legitimate rank when I removed him from my program. 3 months after he left, he opened Holloway Combat Academy and began promoting himself as a black belt. So his black belt is fraudulent. He never earned it, not from me, not from any recognized lineage I'm aware of. I contacted 4 governing bodies after seeing his promotion online. None of them had a record of it.
The courtroom erupted.
Judge Moore tapped her gavel once. That was all she needed. Travis grabbed Kessler's arm. "Do something," he whispered. Kessler stood. "Your Honor, Coach Ellis's testimony is anecdotal. Belt rankings in jiu-jitsu are verifiable," Ellis said from the stand. "Every legitimate promotion has a paper trail. I brought mine." He pulled a folder from his jacket. 46 years of documentation. Every belt, every instructor, every student I ever promoted. Travis Holloway is listed as a blue belt, promoted March 14th, 2020. That is his rank. Judge Moore accepted the folder into evidence.
Travis was unraveling.
His jaw was tight. His knee was bouncing under the table. The composed, confident gym owner from Instagram was gone. What sat in that chair now was a man watching his entire identity collapse in real time. Kessler tried one more angle. "Your Honor, regardless of Mr. Holloway's rank, the central issue remains that Miss Whitfield—"
The central issue,
Judge Moore interrupted, "is that the plaintiff organized a public event, drafted a waiver with no restrictions, publicly challenged the defendant by name on social media, and is now seeking damages for the predictable outcome of his own invitation." She removed her glasses.
the claim is dismissed.
"I am also issuing a formal referral to the Durham County Department of Social Services and the North Carolina State Athletic Commission to investigate youth safety practices at Holloway Combat Academy." She looked at Travis. "Mr. Holloway, you invited a fight. You got one. This court is not your recovery plan." The gavel came down. Bianca didn't celebrate. She sat in her chair, hands folded, eyes closed. Gina put a hand on her shoulder. In the back row, Coach Ellis was already walking toward the door. He stopped for 1 second, looked at Bianca across the room, gave her a single nod. That nod said everything his words never would. Outside the courthouse, Nolan Carver was already uploading. His article hit the Durham Herald's website within the hour. Holloway's black belt exposed as fraud. Lawsuit dismissed. Youth safety investigation ordered. Hashtag 14 seconds was trending again, but now it had a new companion. Hashtag fake belt. The fallout was immediate, and it was total. Within 48 hours of the hearing, the North Carolina State Athletic Commission launched a formal investigation into Holloway Combat Academy. Inspectors arrived on a Wednesday morning. Travis wasn't there. He'd locked the doors the night before and hadn't come back.
They found what Bianca already knew.
Training logs that didn't match injury reports. Minors paired with adult sparring partners 3 times their weight. No certified first aid equipment. No parental consent forms for full contact sessions. A gym built on ego, not safety. The commission suspended Holloway Combat Academy's operating license pending a full review. The doors stayed locked. The banners came down. The DJ booth collected dust. Travis's online empire collapsed even faster than his gym. His Instagram dropped from 80,000 followers to 19,000 in 2 weeks. Sponsors didn't just pull out. They issued public statements distancing themselves. His merchandise company canceled his contract. The weekend seminars, $200 a seat, were all refunded. 3 former students filed formal complaints with the Athletic Commission. 2 parents filed civil suits on behalf of their children. A 4th student went public on Reddit with a post titled, "I trained at Holloway's for 2 years. Here's what really happened behind closed doors. It got 60,000 upvotes in 3 days. Travis Holloway didn't make another video, didn't post another story, didn't update his bio. His last Instagram post, the one challenging Bianca by name, sat there with 14,000 comments underneath it. Most of them were just 2 words: 14 seconds. Craig Teller, the media strategist, quietly removed Travis from his client list. No announcement, no statement, just a name deleted from a website. Bianca got the call from Linda Dawson on a Thursday morning. "Bianca, we'd like you to come back." "On what terms?" "Full reinstatement, back pay for every day of leave, and a formal written apology from the county." "Written?" "Hand signed by the director." Bianca was quiet for a moment. "And my caseload?" "Restored, including Jamal and Devin." She went back to work the following Monday. No fanfare, no press conference. She parked in the same spot, walked through the same door, sat at the same desk. Jamal was her first appointment that afternoon. He walked in, sat down, looked at her for a long time. "Miss Whitfield?" "Yeah." "I saw the video." "Which one?" "The one where you choked him out in 14 seconds. Bianca leaned back in her chair. "That's not what I want you to remember about me." "Then what?" "That I showed up. Every time. That's the part that matters." Jamal nodded, slowly, like he was hearing something for the first time that he'd needed to hear his whole life. 2 months later, Bianca and Coach Ellis stood in front of a small brick building on the east side of Durham. New mats, new lights, a hand-painted sign above the door. The Darnell Whitfield Foundation. Free self-defense for Durham youth. No membership fees, no belt requirements, no ego. Ellis ran the training. Bianca ran the intake. Every kid who walked through that door got the same thing: a safe mat, a patient coach, and someone who believed they belonged there. The Durham City Council passed a youth combat sports safety ordinance 4 months after the hearing. Mandatory parental consent, weight class restrictions for minors, certified first aid on site, background checks for all instructors. They called it the Whitfield Rule. Bianca didn't name it. She didn't ask for it. But she didn't fight it either. The Open Mat Coalition grew. 12 gyms across North Carolina signed on, then 20. Then gyms in Virginia, Georgia, and South Carolina reached out. Black and brown martial artists who'd spent years training in silence started showing up, started competing, started coaching. Hashtag Stand Up on the Mat became more than a hashtag. It became a movement. And it all started with a woman who walked into a gym to check on 2 kids. A woman who got shoved to the floor, whipped in the face and told she didn't belong. A woman who stepped onto the mat anyway. Not for fame, not for money, not for revenge. For Jamal, for Devin, for every kid who'd ever been told they were too small, too weak, too dark, too nothing to matter. 14 seconds changed the video. But what Bianca did after those 14 seconds, that changed everything. There's a white belt hanging in a frame on the wall of the Darnell Whitfield Foundation gym. It's the same belt Travis Holloway whipped across Bianca's face that night. She kept it, not as a trophy, not as a reminder of pain, as proof. Proof that the thing someone throws at you to break you can become the thing that defines you. Every kid who walks into that gym sees it. Some ask about it. Bianca always tells them the same thing. Somebody threw that at me because they thought I was nothing. I kept it because I knew I wasn't. Today, the Darnell Whitfield Foundation operates in 3 locations across Durham. Over 200 kids have come through its doors. 46 of them have earned their first belt. 11 have competed in regional tournaments. 2 have won. Coach Ellis still teaches the advanced class on Thursday nights. He's 72 now, still sharp, still quiet, still the first one on the mat and the last one off. Gina Prescott left her paralegal position 6 months after the hearing. She now runs the legal aid arm of the Open Mat Coalition, providing free legal support to athletes and gym owners facing discrimination in combat sports. Jamal Turner is 17 now. He trains at the foundation 3 days a week. Last month, he won his first tournament, a local invitational in Raleigh, submitted his opponent in the second round. When he stepped off the mat, the first person he looked for was Bianca. "You see that, Miss Whitfield?" "I saw it." "Was it clean?" "Cleanest thing I've seen all day." Devin Price still trains too. He's quieter than Jamal, more careful, but he shows up. Every session. Never misses. When a new kid walks in looking scared, Devin is always the first one to walk over and say, "You're good, I got you." Travis Holloway left Durham. Nobody knows exactly where he went. Some say Charlotte, some say out of state. His gym never reopened. His social media went dark. The last trace of Holloway Combat Academy is a faded outline on the storefront wall where his sign used to be. Nobody misses it. The Whitfield rule has been adopted by 4 other counties in North Carolina. A state-level version is under review. It won't fix everything. No rule does. But it means that the next time a kid walks into a gym, someone is watching. Someone is accountable. Someone has to answer the question, is this child safe? Bianca doesn't talk about the 14 seconds much. Interviewers ask. Podcasters ask. She always gives the same answer. Those 14 seconds weren't the hard part. The hard part was every day after. The lawsuit, the lies, the silence from people who should have spoken up. 14 seconds is nothing. Standing up when the whole world tells you to sit down. That's the fight. Last Tuesday night, Bianca drove to Ellis's garage gym. Same gym, same cold mat, same chipped timer on the wall. She rolled for an hour. No cameras, no audience, no hashtags. Just her and the mat and the ghost of her father watching from somewhere close. When she finished, she sat on the edge of the mat, breathing hard, sweat on her forehead. Ellis handed her a water bottle. "Your dad would have loved that last sweep." "You think?" "I know. He taught it to you." Bianca smiled. The kind of smile that doesn't come from winning, the kind that comes from surviving. If this story moved you, drop a comment. Tell me about your 14 seconds, the moment you proved someone wrong who never believed in you. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Because stories like Bianca's deserve to be told. And I'm just getting started. Hashtag 14 seconds. Hashtag stand up on the mat. Hashtag justice for Bianca. Hashtag Whitfield rule.